welcome to another episode of APT, the House of Commons. Our topic today, well, my name is Ike Onoha, also known as Ike STeeLE. Our topic today is, why are most eligible Nigerian women single? And I have a panel in America. Why are most eligible Nigerian women in America single? And I have our panelists to my left. Name, please.
Enyi Osuji.
Pascal Atuma.
Damola.
All right, gentlemen, which one of you want to go first on this topic?
Hey!
I think I'll start.
All right.
Okay.
I think I'll start in their defense. You know,
Why they're single?
in the defense of the Nigerian girl in America.
Okay, go ahead.
Why most of them are single.
Okay.
Good.
I think I'm going to go into a lot of reasons why, but from my perspective, I think one of the main reasons is not their fault, it is the fault of family.
Mm-hmm.
I think the key word is pressure. A lot of unrealistic expectations and pressure is why quite a number of eligible Nigerian women in America are single. What do you think?
Why doesn't it apply to the other African girls?
Well, the focus on this discussion is Nigerian girls, right? Oh, you mean why are
because the other African girls, like from Congo, Liberia, they seem to find husbands.
do they? I don't know that statistic.
Well, before we go into that deep into it, let's talk about the subject first.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors, from my own point of view, why I think most Nigerian eligible, educated, professional girls in America are single. It's a lot of factors. Number one, you hit it. You hit the nail on, boom, family. Most of them come from a family that expects, if let's assume one is a girl is a lawyer, right? They expect her to marry a nothing less than her status, right? Because they like status quo. You know, oh, how can you be a lawyer and marry this guy that's a taxi driver? How can you be a lawyer and marry this guy that's just a security officer? How can you be a lawyer and marry this guy that said he does import export? What is import export? He doesn't have a profession. You know, or how can you be a medical doctor and you want to marry this guy that only did a bachelor's in microbiology? You see, do you understand what I'm saying? That's from their parents. So these girls, some of them might even fall in love with, let's say, an American guy or a Nigerian guy who just finished high school, right? And got into college. I see them, but that's who they're in love with. And once this guy come to their house, the dad will say, if I see that boy again, hey, say everything I suffered for you to bring me this useless democratic idiot here.
Yes.
Right there,
yes.
This girl has moved away from love. Now, what she's looking for is strategy to be married, have a ring, to satisfy these people that will die very soon. Right?
Key points.
Hold on.
Key point.
That's number one. Number two, these same parents that are on these girls, trying to find them the best wife, are the ones that actually spoiled the girls and didn't give them what they needed to give them when they were in their house. Some of them only train these girls in school.
Yeah.
They go to school. I can assure you that 65 to 70% of Nigerian girls who were trained in America cannot cook.
And
most of them cannot cook. Now, if they cannot cook, do you blame them? No, you don't blame them, because their mom, who cooks for their dad, by the way, did not let them know that, yes, you're a medical doctor, yes, you're a pharmacist, yes, you're a lawyer, but it is still necessary for you to know how to cook. Not only for your husband, for your children, so that your children will not be eating McDonald's. I'll give you an example and then I'll shut up, right? My brother, Stanley, you know, he wanted to pick, he was dating, you know how we do a couple of chicks, right?
I don't know what you mean.
I don't participate in those.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So you say he's a player?
No, when he wanted to get serious and get married, right? I met a couple of girls, but there was one girl I met. I met this girl, right? Because Stanley is an accountant with an MBA. So he's not an illiterate. So you know he will attract people almost similar. So all those girls were professional chicks. But I met one particular girl who, by the way, he's getting married to next year. They're already engaged, right?
Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations, Stanley.
Congrats.
Do you know why I voted for this girl?
Why?
I go into Dallas. I meet this girl. I come into Stanley's apartment, right? Sunny is there with a girlfriend, this particular chick, right? Oh, Sunny said, meet my girlfriend, how you doing, my sister?
She's Nigerian?
Yeah, Nigerian girl. Born,
Stanley is Nigerian?
Nigeria. Sunny is my little brother, my younger brother, right? So, bam, we greet. Then Sunny asked me, what do you want to eat? Let's go out to eat. And then I said, Sunny, no, me, I want to eat fufu. Do you know what this girl did?
She cooked fufu for you.
My brother, hold on. The girl said, oh, Sunny, didn't tell us what was going on, what she was about to do. She said, I'll be right back. I'm still talking to my brother, so she left. I said, where did your girlfriend say? She said, one time you don't know. 10 minutes later, this girl is back with a pot of soup. She cooked in her place. She had soup in her place. She ran to her place and brought the soup. And immediately she said, oh, bro Pascal, I'll make food for you. Immediately I get left, I told my brother, if you don't marry this one, don't call me again. Okay. But you know, that's what I'm saying.
I guess.
If her mom, bros, one second, look at this. If her mom didn't teach her how to cook, who would have made that soup in her apartment?
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well,
so I'll blame it on the parents.
Well, they say the way to a man's heart is the stomach, right? So I guess you just.
And it's not a lie.
I am a typical Nigerian African man that lives in Hollywood.
You just
come back.
Serious example of that person.
Don't worry, you're fine. Don't worry.
Mr. Osuji, go on.
Well, on this particular topic, you guys kind of hit the nail on the head really quickly. So a lot of the things I was going to say have already been said. But growing up out here and seeing what I've seen is with Nigerian girls that I've run into. Like you said, the cooking thing is a huge one. I know that a lot of the ones that I've met fight me on that one. Why do I need to cook? It's not.
It's almost like they take pride.
They take pride in it. I remember one time I was interested in talking to this girl, and she told me with pride that she doesn't cook, that she look nice for me every day. That's all she would do for me. I will look good.
So when you get hungry, you eat like
I will eat her looks.
Don't worry,
No, but on a serious note, a lot of the ones that I've met, one thing I will say though is, it is changing a little bit now, because some of the younger ones are starting to realize, like, wait a second, your strategy is not really working. So I'm going to have to take this dating thing a little bit more seriously. I'm going to have to change some things about myself. Because a lot of these women were like, oh, I'm not doing this. What a lot of these girls would do, from ages about 18 to about 24, 25, they will be forming as in fronting or pretending as if, they'll be playing these games and trying to, like, I want to look good and all this stuff for my husband. Then when they reach about 25, 26, 27, now everything starts to calm down small. They start to get a little bit older, like, wait a second, time is ticking, biological this thing, hey, don't worry. 28, 29, it's like, damn, I'm in my career, it's getting real, I need to settle down. But Tom, Dick, and Harry that you push aside, all these boys that you dated, you push them aside, don't worry, those ones have found wives, you're there still looking, keep looking. My point is, life is not a Nollywood movie, nor is
it's a Hollywood movie. No, it's a Hollywood movie.
Life is not a Nollywood movie, nor is it a Disney flick. Life is real. If you're serious about dating an African man, there's some things that you may want to take into consideration.
Okay. Before we see African, this one is special. So more just leave that one.
No.
This guy. That's why
I'm not saying everything.
Don't do it to yourself.
I'm not saying everything, but okay, go ahead.
No, that was a great explanation. It looks like you just did the conclusion right there. I have more. There's more to come. Okay, hold your horses. We'll get there. Okay, my reason why I think most Nigerian women are single, Nigerian eligible women are single, all the things you guys said, plus the fact that most of these girls don't really know where they stand. Because I've met this one girl that told me she doesn't like African men. She doesn't like to go to African events.
Nigerian girl?
Yes, Nigerian girl born here. We has the same Nigerian last name.
Okay, so her defense.
She. She told me she doesn't like African men. Okay. Well, I guess when you come from this kind of culture, you kind of get, it's a conflict of interest for her because she's neither with the so-called American boys, so she ends up being single. You know, the kind of her African man that she pushes away, you know, I guess would have been the best option for her because definitely African men, I think our men, we know how to take care of women.
Okay, hold on.
It's been proven even by
Okay,
all
let me ask.
that
Let
we
me
have killed
ask.
at taking care of women.
I beg. Because I was gonna say this,
Yeah.
right? I started off in the defense, and I'm gonna keep it on track on their defense. I'm still gonna come back and attack you. Don't worry. But to their defense, are we easy to date? We Nigerian men, are we easy to
let's
date?
take that one.
Yes. Are we easy to marry?
Let me tell you.
Keep in mind.
So two questions. Are we easy to date and marry?
I'm married.
I'm gonna tell you something.
This one's sweet too. House of Commons.
Are we easy to date? The answer is yes, we are.
Really?
We're very easy to date. And, because the things that the African man require to be satisfied is not much.
I think any man in general. I think
Yeah,
men in general.
But you asked,
But you asked
the
me,
question
so-
was very particular.
About
are
what?
we easy to date? And I said yes. And in view of that, right, the society have put in place this parastatal that you must achieve or attain before you are accepted into some certain families.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Tribalism. Right? Tribalism. Second, confusion of cultures.
That one, the first one you said alone is like a
Yeah.
whole.
Okay,
Yeah.
confusion of cultures. So the society out there, some families, you have to meet a certain
Yeah.
thing that they have put in place.
Like
I'll give
they
you an
filter
example.
too
Yeah, I'll
much.
give you an
Yeah.
example. Let's stay to Nigeria. I've had instances where a friend of mine from the Igbo side, Igbo tribe,
Igbo girl.
was dating a girl from the Akwa Ibom side. The dad and the mom, they've never met the guy before.
It was on
They
that.
don't know who he is. They don't know his status. They don't know if he's qualified or not. But for the fact that they asked the girl, where is he from? This is Nigeria versus Nigeria. This is not Nigeria versus Europe. This is not white man versus black man.
Yeah.
This is Nigeria versus Nigeria. For the fact that the dad, and not that the dad said and mom said, my husband don't think like that. No. This is both mom and dad.
Can I?
Can I finish? Just for the fact that the girl said this guy is from Igbo. The dad right there said,
He must not
God punish you. God, I will disown you. That was the first thing. That was the first thing the dad
Let's
said.
move
The
it
dad
on, let's
said,
move it.
I will disown you. Without knowing who the guy is. So
Alright,
just because
okay.
you're Igbo, you're
Okay.
there. You can't marry their daughter.
And
I think because I've dated Nigerian girls, Igbo and Yoruba, so I kind of seen different sides of it. And one thing I noticed is
so you were Wazobia, you dated across the
I'm
whole tribes.
a globetrotter. No, but
Congrats.
congrats.
Share na siya. Okay. Globe trotter.
If you're the mother, shall we?
Oh, don't be like that. Okay, so no, but on a serious note, there's a lot of filtering that comes when it comes to, for the Nigerian girl has to bring a guy home. There's so much that comes along with it, and a lot of times nowadays, two things are happening now, because there's some women that are like, man, I need to get something, so they are selfishly getting into relationships, just trying to get something to bring something home, because they're under pressure to bring a man home. Another one is a family, like he's saying, that is a more established family that has a very high pedigree. Those kind of families don't just let their daughters talk to any guy like that. That's one. Two, even
Some you have to have 5 degrees before you can talk to their daughter.
10 before you can talk. So in the girls' defense, there's a lot of lists it's a laundry list of things that you have to meet and requirements that you have to meet before you can even talk to the girl. So when the first thing I've dated a girl, she probably don't see this, but first time I sat down with her parents, the first thing the parents asked me, what is my major? First of all, That's one.
Before they ask you your name.
No, they knew my name. Then they let
Oh, they're lucky.
They're lucky. Yeah. What's my major? What I plan to do? What do my parents do? So these things are important even before you're even dating somebody. Before she even wastes time to even date you. And another thing, lastly, I know I'm going, is the money. And I'm not going to say all of them because I've talked to Nigerian girls. In my defense, before everybody kills me online, I've talked to Nigerian girls that will admit that a lot of their fellow Nigerian women are gold diggers. And they are specifically looking for guys that are going to take care of them because of a certain type of lifestyle that they want to live. One more thing. A lot of these women are so established, the same issues that Nigerian women have, every other black woman or any other woman that is a minority, woman in general, but any woman that's a minority has this problem because the people that they would date usually aren't, for some reason, aren't at their level that they want to be. And if they're not at that level, if they are not at that level, it's problems because there's usually a gap in income, a gap in salary, which arises from other bigger major issues depending on how the family's money is set up.
What did you want to say something or you want to respond to what?
I've talked a lot.
When you finish, I will respond to.
Okay, good. You asked the question: are we African men easy to date? And I'm gonna answer something else you said. Yes, African men are easy to date, and in the case though, dealing with African women, I think African men, nobody understands African women more than African men. That's, I believe,
Do you think so?
strongly so.
You think so?
Yeah,
yes.
look,
Oh, yes.
I've dated cross-culturally.
Oh, yes.
I know. I know from fact. I even married outside my culture, so I know when it comes to culture, I know definitely. I'm talking from experience, okay?
No. You said no one knows an African woman more than an African man.
And that's gospel truth.
Yes, wholeheartedly. I say that. Okay,
They can pretend. They can pretend because maybe the white man will let them get away with some stuff, or the American will let them get away with some, but they know who knows them.
Right. Pascal, you said something about
Y'all taking it there.
tribalism and the culture like Calabar and Igbo but I think that is in every culture though. Even do you know that northern Persians and southern Persians don't marry? Or there's this issue about you're from the north and you're from the south.
That should stay over there.
But it's in every culture though.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that.
yeah.
Like every country, every society even has those kind of things.
We
Okay?
have our own outcasts and all those kind of things that are
Exactly.
In Igbo culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you've dated Wazobia. Me, I've dated internationally. I've dated
think
Russians, Persians, Armenians, Hispanics.
Me too.
Okay, but when you
multicultural?
Can I say
Go ahead.
Okay, see, for myself, one, like you said, tribalism, that is established. That's another one, confusion of cultures. See, the Nigerian girls, when they come over here, when they were born here, they go on a date with a Caucasian guy, or let's say a Spanish guy, and they get to the date, the next day the Spanish guy sends them 36 flowers, sends them balloons, sends them a teddy bear.
Which is not necessarily what our culture is.
Which is not our culture.
What?
Okay, then they go to this Caucasian guy's house. By the time they come in, the guy already cooked dinner, light candle everywhere. Then when they come back to date us, the Africans, when they come out to date us, right?
They expect the same thing.
The one thing you say is, "You're not romantic.
You know they do
You're not romantic. You know they do You don't send no. Since I've been telling you, I've had to see flowers from you. How many flowers did your dad give to your mom?
So who the one?
No, in our garden.
No, I want to ask
Have you forgotten?
The flower that we know in Africa is when you're going with a girl somewhere, you see a flower, you just run and come the flower. That's our culture.
Speak for your own self,
bro. That's the truth. Right? So now, they're dating a Caucasian guy, an African American guy. Before they go into their car, the guy will run over, open the door, gentleman, and then when they enter, the guy will close the door. And then they expect an African guy with our culture and our mentality me and you, we're going somewhere, you and I, right? And I have to run over to open the door. And then when I open the door, you say, yes, well, you sit down. What happened to your hand?
Can I talk to that when you're done?
Yeah,
I know there's nothing to my
Hold on.
I know there's nothing to my
Hold on. So, after the...
I just can't with this.
No. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Guys, I apologize. This guy's a man.
Hold on. I'm speaking as an African.
He
right?
said, what happened to your hand?
Yes. Hold on. Now, when you come back to the African side, to deal an African, some days when I'm in good mood,
You do it.
You open it up.
but normally, a typical normal African dad and African mom, they don't do that without opening nothing.
Okay. All right.
Right? And then they expect us all of a sudden without
Pastor,
considering.
you be like saying they vex.
Yeah, they vex.
You be like saying they vex. Who broke your heart? You be like saying they vex.
Hold on.
Ginger man, you see what
Hold
this
on.
is here?
Hold on. You want us to sit here and sugarcoat us?
No, we need a sugar coat. We be like saying your own vex.
But
Last level.
then when they come back to date us, right? Then they expect all this crap, right?
Yeah.
How can in our culture, bro?
Yeah, like, I do small.
Bro, no,
I'm
in
an
our
American
culture,
boy.
how can a woman call you in our culture? Let's assume you live in Omaha, right? And a nigga or Ngozi call you, say, I can come into your house. Please cook vegetable soup for me. Would that happen in Omaha? Yes or no? Would it happen?
Are we in Umaya?
No, but it's in
America?
Okay, then.
Can I-
In America.
Okay, let me just say this.
Sir.
As a Nigerian that lived a lot of my life here and a little bit in Nigeria, I think a lot of those girls, women who grew up here, have a different experience because they grew up here. So they have American culture and a little bit of Nigerian culture from what they. Because
that's the confusion of culture.
it's a confusion of culture because when you're in your house, there's one thing. As soon as you step outside your house, it's a totally different world that you see. So a lot of these girls are struggling with the fact that as much as they may know about Nigeria, if you ain't really lived it and you ain't really been there and this is what you really know and this is what you were raised in, when somebody's telling you to do all these things that are against what you were raised in, as far as a lot of these women, and not to knock feminism, because feminism just purely means that men and women are equal. But in a society that is not really necessarily based on those kinds of values, and a lot of these women have adopted these kind of values because they're becoming more educated, they're becoming more independent, which is great. But when you're dealing with a Nigerian, personally, that's what I know. So I'm not going to talk about Liberia because I don't know Liberia like I know Nigeria. So, but as a Nigerian man, from what I know, how I was raised, and my mom is a very dominant woman. At the end of the day, my mom still respects my dad as the man of the household. I don't know if our girls are looking at it that way anymore. I don't think they are.
Can I say something once ago before I forget?
Chief,
one second. How do you expect someone to marry a girl, a Nigerian girl, and when you go to her house, you'll be the one that will go to Walmart to buy pot and blender for the first time to put in her place that she had lived for 4 years?
Marriage is not ready. Marriage is not ready for marriage.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, well, moving on. Did you want to say something?
Yeah.
Or, because you haven't really talked
I
much.
haven't really talked much, but I'll say this. From the perspective of a Nigerian American.
Right, yeah.
I was born in America, raised in Nigeria, back in America. The truth of the matter is simple. I personally don't have time for any of it. Love is love, right? I don't have time to be interrogated about who I choose to fall in love with. So just from my perspective as a man looking at going into a Nigerian household, because I know, let's face the fact, if you choose to date a Nigerian girl, you're not just dating a Nigerian girl.
You're signed up.
You're not just dating a Nigerian girl.
You're signed up for.
So it's really tough.
The whole
It's
village.
extremely.
So you will not marry a Nigerian.
Oh no. Of course I will, but the fact is, I will probably be that stubborn guy that's just not going to deal with it.
Hey, can I say something?
I'm going to be that guy. I will fall in love.
I want to say something.
I don't understand LD because how are you going to deal with the family though?
No, that's what I'm saying. I will be that guy that is the black sheep of the family. Because I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to tolerate it.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not going to marry a Nigerian girl, but I will most likely fall into a family that does not follow those certain norms that we seem to agree that a lot of families, Chief, I'm pretty sure you can all agree. Once you live in America for quite a while, you understand the value of comfort. You understand the value of rest of mind. My guy, I'm
The value of freedom.
Exactly. Like, why do I fall in love with someone? I've even done a good job as an American because say, as a day America so, most of the time they say person don't lost, right? I don't do my job, I never lost. I go find Nigeria where I love. But in order to enter family, they go ask me more questions than police.
Police, 21 questions.
I mean, Chief, I know if you do it.
Net dog.
But let me tell you what my own problem is with that, right?
Yeah.
If I come into your family, you're asking me all these questions. I want to see your own children, your own boys, and see who they are. You know what I'm saying? That was giving you the right to ask me these questions. Because if I'm better placed in the society economically in all ramifications than these people, man, shut up! Don't ask me stupid questions.
Well,
that's how I feel.
Well, guys, I know we can go with this topic all night,
Yes,
day, all night. But it's very exciting. Just in a minute, we're going to conclude. If you guys want to give us some last words. But one of the last things I'm going to say is that I have a daughter by a Ukrainian woman.
Your wife.
My daughter speaks Russian. She doesn't speak Igbo. She says a few words. She speaks Russian, English, and Armenian because she goes to an Armenian daycare, right?
Oh, wow.
Somebody said she'll be confused. She's not confused. Children can take anything at a certain age. They can learn up to 5 languages. Okay? The point I'm trying to make is that even though we are Nigerians and we were born here, or we were born in Nigeria, we were raised here, we were raised in Nigeria, blah blah blah. The conflict of culture, but I think it's all BS. You can actually adapt to almost anything. You can adapt, you can learn the Nigerian culture, you can learn the American culture. You just need to find a balance as a human being, as a person, as an individual. And when you deal with African men, respect the customs, respect the culture. When you deal with American men, don't expect to deal with the Nigerian man the way you would deal with an American man. Or impose the things that you've learned from dealing with Nigerian men on. You will not do it. Impose the African culture on a white man. Why would you want to impose a white man's culture on a black man? Or a Nigerian man? So that's just what I say.
Can I ask you a question though?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question about that? Do you feel that it is just them imposing, or do you just think it's a difference in, agreement?
Yeah.
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
Can I answer that? I would say it's them trying to impose.
Why?
Okay, I'll give you an example. At one time there was a Nigerian girl who, by the way, the mom didn't
We're going to conclude soon.
Okay, yeah. Who, by the way, the mom didn't teach her how to cook. All they showed her was school. School. Now, because she didn't know how to cook, she became a vegetarian. Now,
wow.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because she didn't know how to cook.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know how to cook, she became a vegetarian.
Wow.
It's not because she didn't like me too.
No.
It's because she didn't know how to cook it.
She became a vegetarian. Right?
Hey. You know what?
Let me finish. Right, then when she became a vegetarian, all of a sudden I come into her life. Instead of her to go back to her mom, whose job it is to teach her how to cook for an African guy.
You try to convert you to
She tried to convert me to become a vegetarian.
I don't like grass.
Bro, look at me, look at vegetarian. Look at me very well.
Oh my God.
You don't look like a goat.
Do I look like a goat?
No.
Okay. Now, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, instead of her, her mentality was so destructured, if I may use that language,
Right.
that she actually was thinking that I'm the one wrong here by demanding to eat my African food.
And she can convert you.
And she can convert me. And guess what? Because when I come into your place, you cannot cook for me. Right? Because you don't know how to cook. I say, okay, my sister, don't worry. I know how to cook. Then I go buy stuff and cook my own food. And I'm eating my food and you're trying to analyze the chemical effects of chicken in your kitchen.
I beg.
And you want to marry a Nigerian, my sister, you're going to be single for a long time.
Conclude.
Yeah, you're going to be single for a long time.
I think that, it's definitely a difference in culture. I think that women who are raised here are going to have issues with Nigerian men, who, especially the ones that live back home. I've heard some horror stories. We've all heard about all the negative and all the negative things. But let me just say this. in everything, there's always plus and minus. There's always good and bad. Being a Nigerian and being an American, there's an advantage to being a Nigerian and being an American at the same time, because although I lived in Nigeria, I also lived here for a considerable amount of time. So there's some disadvantages that come with that, and there's some advantages that come with that. With a lot of these women, there's a slight disadvantage, and men, there's a slight disadvantage because we talked about language earlier. To me, especially since I studied sociology in school, language is a big part of our culture. So I think that's a big root in this. If they're not there, you're talking about cultural things that are not even based in America. In America, all this stuff about man cooking, a woman cooking for a man, it sounds so archaic to anyone outside of this realm of African men talking. So when you tell an African woman in America that's raised out here that, oh, you have to cook, you have to do this, he's looking at you like, who are you?
Who the hell are you?
Who the hell are you? So I think culture is huge. Because Nigerian women that are raised in Nigeria that know what time it is, they don't argue with you
at all.
They're not arguing with you. The ones that were raised here, and not to bash them, but
I'm not done. That one not be true.
Oh, well, guy, you know that do.
With the mixture of cultures, where they happen for Nigeria right
with
now.
the confusion of cultures.
With the mixture, but
they will challenge you.
Times have changed, I know. Times have changed, I know. Even Nigerian girls that came to America, they've been here for some time, I'm like, wait a second, what the hell? I don't have to do anything.
Because this one, you don't.
That's my conclusion.
Let's say, conclude sharp.
I bet conclude.
Conclusion?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty simple. I think it's pretty simple. I said my conclusion within my statement. I mean, love is love, whatever the case. But the main subject was why are most Nigerian women single in the United States of America? Most eligible Nigerian women. And it just goes back to what we've all said. I can't fault the one girl. I can't fault them individually for why they are single. First and foremost, let's not forget, some of them might be single by choice. That's a fact. Some of them might be single by choice.
You say a lie!
I beg, shut up.
You say a lie!
But I think it all goes back to...
Give me this.
It all goes back... You know what okay, it all goes back to pressure, unrealistic expectations from family especially. I cannot blame girls because me and my guy, I know girls.
Yeah, I have pressure.
It's not their fault.
We all have pressures.
It's not their fault. We all have pressures, but we're guys.
I get it.
We're already allowed to go astray.
Yes,
from
I know.
Girls,
Yeah.
it's not easy.
It's true.
I know girls where they so far. I know girls that don't even want to be doctors that are doctors right now.
Yeah.
For 20 years and they vex.
Yeah.
So that alone, you want to make girl go to school. You want her to go to school till she's 25. And then you tell the girl, while she's in school, you better not talk to any boy. So she comes out of school at the age of 25. And then you say, oh yeah, start dating.
Start dating, you have to be
Somebody
married.
does not even understand the technique of saying hello.
At all.
You won't just make them become machine.
Yeah.
Look, my sisters, I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I ain't gonna blame the girls individually.
Yeah.
It's the family.
It is a family.
It's the family.
I want to go. I have a conclusion though.
I thought you
I have a conclusion. So this is a conclusion.
Okay, first.
That's okay.
This is my conclusion. Nigerian parents. My name is Pascal Atoma.
I
Maybe I need to remind them again.
Oh my lord!
My name is Pascal Atoma. Stop trying to force people to buy your damaged goods.
Hell,
Because if you have destroyed them, then you need to marry them.
hell!
If you think education is the only qualification for your girl to be counted a real woman in the world, you're making a mistake. If you want your daughter, your cousin, your sister, whatever, to have a husband, the same services, the same way you treat your husband, please train them to treat whoever is going to be around them the same way. And that includes cooking, taking care of them, and being respectful. But if you have destroyed them with only education, then you need to find education and let them marry education.
Real quick, this is the second conclusion.
This is my real conclusion.
You were going to.
This guy don't bang. You have to say it 3 times.
Hey! Ọmọ Bani Misha.
So this is the thing. This is the thing. It's kind of piggybacking on what he's saying. Major thing is, a lot of these women, and I feel, and what LD's saying, I do feel for them because from the time you were born, there's a lot of pressure on you.
Cheers to that one.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
Cheers to that one.
Yeah.
From the day of your birth, you're already an adult.
You're already an adult.
Your life is planned.
A lot of women suffer from that because they don't have a choice. Their parents already put all kinds of pressure on them. They don't have when it comes to dating, like you said, you can't date, but then when it's time to marry, you better be ready to marry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
Why can you marry when you?
We have never even talked about having children.
Having children. That's.
I'm not even gone to that part.
We're not even gonna go there. But just to wrap up, I think that love your daughters, show them love, cultivate and breed women who, you know,
Who will take care of families?
who take care of families, who want to different.
Don't breed classroom only. We don't. Classroom is not.
I think
Not just classroom, but also class.
I think the value system of a lot of these Nigerian families is not centered in the right place all the time. Because a lot of the women, when it's time for them to get married, what are they looking for? That's the question you need to ask. Why are these women looking for certain types of things? How are they being raised? Because I'm not gonna blame them all together because
I don't blame the girl.
I don't blame them like that.
I blame the dad and the mom.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much for this episode. I'm going to conclude, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for listening to this episode.
Cheers.
We are going to bring you more topics, exciting
Cheers.
topics, interesting topics. Let us know what you think.
Great episode, guys.
Your comments in the bottom. Well, 1 second before
But you
share,
didn't
I need to
conclude,
conclude.
though.
My conclusion. Yeah, I was setting up for my conclusion. Well, my conclusion, I agree with most of what you guys have said tonight.
Okay.
My thing as a father, I have a daughter. She's 3.5, though she believes she's already 6 years old. And I've learned a lot from listening to you guys, from live, from how I'm going to raise her. Okay. My conclusion is, you know, this is a new century, a new dispensation, a new generation we're in. Do not try to raise your daughters. I'm talking to the parents now. Do not try to raise your daughters with archaic, you know, mindset, way of thinking. It's wrong. It's totally wrong. And two, the girls, you try to educate yourself. You know, don't just buy into everything your parents tell you. You're a human being yourself. You're an individual, right? You read, you watch movies, you read books. You know. Use your common sense. Sometimes they say common sense is really not common, right?
Mom, teach me how to cook.
Exactly. I think for survival, you need to even learn how to cook. I cook. Me too.
Let me ask you a question.
So,
from your conclusion, I'm sorry. Just you can answer it once, and nobody can say anything because they conclude. Will you let your daughter marry a Nigerian guy?
Hey!
definitely.
Is it lie?
Yes.
Why not? Why is it like?
No, I will let my daughter marry who's right for her.
Man.
Finish your conclusion.
She brings a girl like this.
What?
This.
Please hold on.
Okay, sorry. So, in my case, I can't believe you just asked me.
Conclusion.
Okay. No, it's not concluded.
Okay.
House of Commons. Great episode.
Teach your people how to cook.
Teach your people how to cook.
Guy, go and sit down.